Hello, we come back to finish chapter 3 from Fundamental 2. Type of multiple, let's say types of multiple table insert statement. As we spoke before, we have conditional insert, unconditional insert, conditional all insert, conditional first insert, and pivoting. Let's go right here. This is the format structure that you will see, the same format structure in your book when you try to insert multiple rows from one table to multiple tables. How we going to use that one? Let's look at this example right here for unconditional insert. All is as follow: that insert all acceptable row, all row which is matching in two different tables. One table sale history, the other table manager history. This data that we try to insert to sale history and manager history come from the table employees. And if you notice right here, employee ID, which we name it EMP ID, inserted into the history, sale history, and hiring dates and sales. And hiring date and sales is two other columns from the employee table. So in fact, we extracting data from a single table and insert it in two different tables. This is the single table, this is the two other tables, sales history and manager history. For the all condition which were employee ID greater than 200. Let's go do one example in this one. What I did in this slide, I created two dummy table. I created two dummy table right here, and I try to find out how many rows exist in the employee table which is matching with the greater 200. Let's go ahead first these two portions. So I'm going to copy and paste right here, bring it in my iSQL, and creating two dummy table. As a result, we create two tables. Two tables that we are talking about. I mean, one of the table is going to be dummy table sale history and MGR history table. We create these two tables. Now let's consider look at when we try to looking for the all employee ID greater than 200. See how many employee we have in employee table which employee ID greater 200. So I'm going to execute this one too. And let's consider I'm going through right here and also using the insert. Now let's go back, let's go back right here, look at right here, and I try to find out how many row. If you're noticing 4 row, there are 4 row exist which is employee ID greater than 200. Okay, let's go back to a slide. Now we're taking this slide and copy this slide to iSQL and try to find out what it does. If you notice again, let me go back to the slide. In fact, we're extracting from employees table employee ID, which we gave it the alias name EMP ID, hiring date, which we gave it the alias date HIR date, salary, which we gave the alias SAL, and manager ID, which we gave the alias MGR. We extracting this column 1, 2, 3, 4 column from employee table and try to insert some of it to sal history, some of them to MGR history. Now let's go back to iSQL. We're going to execute this one. As a result, 8 row inserted, 4 row in the first table, 4 row in the sale history, 4 row in MGR history. Let's go verify that one. I'm going back to right here and I'm asking, okay, give me the row number from these two tables. So I'm going to copy and paste it right here in my iSQL, and I'm going to notice that 4 row inserted in the first table, sales history, And if I'm going next page, you're going to see that again a 4 row inserted into the second table. Okay, now let's go to the next portion of it. So this is unconditional all. Now there could be some other scenario, conditional insert. Conditional insert like this example right here. I'm going to put a when condition. I'm going to say insert all possible scenario of the employee tables where the ID greater than 200. If the cell greater than 1000, then insert to the cell history. If manager is greater than 200, then insert into the manager history table. So you're going to see again another scenario. So if any row matching with this condition, you're going to insert it to this table. If any row matching with the manager greater 200, you're going to insert it into the manager history. And this execution happens only by selecting the row from a single table, which is employees, and the condition is a manager ID supposed to be greater than 200. So it is the insert all again with the condition. The previous slide we saw that it is unconditional is going to insert. This is the conditional insert of the multiple rows, inserting from a single table, select multiple row and dump it to a multiple tables. And then another one, conditional first insert. Conditional first insert is the first condition which is match, inserted, and go to the next one. So when we have them right here first, not all anymore. When the salary greater than 2,500, insert that row into the special sales table. If there is another salary greater than 2,500, it won't insert in the other condition, other tables, such as hiring date. No, you're only looking for salary greater than 2,500, and you're going to insert it into the first table. When hiring date is equal to everything which contains 00, and a string which is containing a 00 in between, then you go insert it to this table. Hire date, sale history 0. Or when hiring date is look like a string which contain a 99 in that one for hiring date, for example year 1999. Or this one, for this example we're going to year 2000, because there are all 20 involved in that date. And excuse me, if this is scenario, go follow this one, else insert the remaining of the row that you cannot insert in this condition and this condition, insert it in the third table, hire date history. You're going to insert the result by where? By the row which you're going to select it from employee table. So you're going to pull the row from employee table. You may insert it to the cell, special cell. You may insert it to hire date history, or you may insert it to hire date history 99. This is the third example. The third example is pivoting insert, P-I-V-O-T insert. This scenario is like this one, that I have a big table such as SAL, let's say SAL source data, a table such as SAL source, let's go ahead right here, SAL source data, let's say select from this table, and you're going to see as the result I have a large data set, page by page, page after page. I have a large data set. What we try to do, we try to take each of those based on the wiki ID and go ahead and insert it into table sales info. So take those data from a big table which is sales source data and insert it to sales info, employee ID, wiki IDs for Monday, employee, which ID for next for sales of Tuesday, sales of the Wednesday, sales of the Thursday, and sales of the Friday. So in fact, extracting the data from another table and try to dump it to another table, but you're going to take the row differently. You're going to pull one option is sales Monday, and sales Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're going to stand in a single column of the table. However, right here they are sale of Monday 1, 2 column, 3 column, 4 column, 5 column. All it try to do just crunching this 4 column, this one, this one, this one, this one, or sale of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and try to put them in a single column, which is name it right here, and name it sales. This is the next example. Let's see what we have next. The merge statement. The merge statement is again another new form of DML insert in DML statement that I'm going to using your book. Use this example right here. We're having two tables, a table such as, let me go right here, we're having two tables, one of them such as employee L3 and the other one some resource in the employee table. We try to take some row from employee table and bring it, merge it with the table EMP L3 based on condition which is available right here. Based on the condition right here where C department ID, which is a stand for employee 13, is matching with the E department ID, which is the employees table, this table right here. Now I use another example which is much more simpler than this one. I'm not going to mess up with your employee table, so I wrote it an example and try to use this example. Okay, for example, excuse me. For example, right here I have a table. I name it the first one, I name it copy of employee 1, and I having another table copy of employee 2. I have one row in the table employee 1, which is King, and this is his job ID, and this is his department ID. I have in the second table copy employee 2. I have 3 different rows right here. When I'm merging this table employee 1 and employee 2, as a result the content of employee 1 extracted and dumped it in the employee 2, and all going getting this table as a result. Now let's go the way that I did it. That one you may using, let me bring this one down, create a table copy employee 1, and I using select first name, last name, hiring date, job ID, department ID from employee, and I use where the row number less than 2, so we're going to insert one row. Then I create another one for department 50 and 60, and I create the second employee 2 table, EMP2 table. Let's go with the merge example. The merge example, I'm going to asking insert to the copy of employee 2, so in this table employee 2 table, by using the data from employee 1 table. This is the employee 1 table, which is there is one row in there. Then right here I'm going to using unjoined condition where the C department ID, which is the first one, matching with the E department ID, which is copy of employee 1. So it try to follow up instruction, which is does not generate a Cartesian product. When matching, then update and set the C first name to E first name. So if you're noticing, we're really changing the first name, all the name to Steven, and Lex, and the next name, all this name, Nina, and Nina, all these three names updated to Steven, because right here we're going to use the C first name, put to that one E first name, which is my employee 1, and C last name we ask him put to E last name. And we may also changing this one's scenario that does not change the last name or does not change the first name. And when not matching, we ask him to insert the result back to the right here, insert the value that I want not matching, insert employee ID, first name, last name, this one and this one into this table. So if the scenario like king happening also, go ahead and add the king to the existing one, which is doesn't exist. So what are you going to do? You're going to add a new row to the table. So that's from the merge example. So in fact we're going back to this book slide. Employee L3 is the source that we inserting the data. Employee table that we extracting data is employees. And here is the instruction of syntax instruction of the merge statement that you may use. The next example of the merge, this is a different example of by merging into the employee table and different form of example, and it try to show you number of the row which is affected by the insert. Tracking change in the employee table in the table. Let's consider I update a row and I would like to find out what was my old data. Let's consider this example is in your book is the best example. I'm going to pull up create a table employee 3 based on the employee table and try to select employee 107, and then I'm going to update that one. So let's consider right here I'm going to copy this one, bring it back to our telnet, and right here I'm going selecting this one and I'm going right here press enter, create table employee 3 as select asterisk from employee, and then I'm going to ask it select for row 107 from employee table, and right here you're going to see that the employee salary of employee 107 is 4,200. Now I'm going back to my slide again, and in this slide now what I'm going to do, I'm going to update of this employee by 30%, update his salary by 30%, and then I'm going to commit my transaction. So updating the employee table and committing transaction by 30%. Now if I'm going to do the select statement, you're going to see that the salary is changed. That was the salary previously was 4,200. Now with this update it changed and we commit the change. Now I can select salary from employee version between SCN of mean val and max val, and it's going to extract the old data however I commit the transaction, but it still is available. So if I'm going right here and looking this data, executing that one, I'm going to see that currently the salary upgraded to this amount, but the old salary was 4,200. So this is the way that we can look at the committed transaction and find out the old value before we committing a transaction. The version number, also we can select the version number start time, version end time from employee table, where version between SCN mean val and max val, for example for this employee. However, we did not create, so this is another method that you can do, but we have to have a last name which is matching with our query in our database. And if we go notice that one, let's say who is this employee, and you're going to see this employee, we didn't update his salary here, so there is only one, but we update it, we can find out that his new salary. Okay, let me go back to my slide, and if I'm not making mistake, we're ending there, chapter 3 of fundamental 2.